The Boston Celtics are heating up once again. After starting the season 16-3, they then played 500 basketball. They were 8-8 from December 18th to January 19th, but now they've won 5 of their last 7 games, and led by Kristaps Porzingis, this team is surging once again. But that's not it. They could also be very active in the buyout market that will be getting very active after the trade deadline in about 5 days. So we're going to look into that as well. But first, let's take a look at what Tingus Pingus has done this year. Everybody talks about Tatum and Brown, but Kristaps Porzingis might be the most impactful player on this Celtics roster. He averages 19.3 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1.5 blocks, and he just dropped 34 and 11 on the Chicago Bulls in 33 minutes of action. He's shooting 48% from the field on the year and 42% from 3, and he's been playing some really good basketball as of late, kind of spearheading this push that the Celtics have been on to win 5 of their last 7. This is very valuable. Having a guy that can flash to the high post and knock down that elbow jumper, it's an automatic zone beater, and while I'm against playing zone in the NBA, some teams do it. And then right here, the Bulls are so worried about Tatum in this pick and roll that Porzingis just pops, and watch Vucevic. He's getting ready to go into drop coverage. Instead, Porzingis just fakes out of it and pops for the 3 ball, and it's wide open. And then once again, working the pick and pop here, this time with Derrick White. He can roll to the rim or he can pick and pop. This time he's going to roll, and Derrick White's going to find him over the top. Lonzo doesn't get back in time, and that's a heck of a finish right there by Porzingis. Watch Tatum draw the double here. He gets both Vucevic and THT with him, drops it back off for Porzingis, and Porzingis was hitting from downtown today. Now this is a really good OB under, setting the screen for Peyton Pritchard to come into the corner, and then he's just going to pop. Had Vucevic chasing Pritchard, he just pops right to the 3-point line, and it's a wide open 3 because, well, Vucevic was pretty much barbecued chicken the entirety of the game. And then this is very valuable as well, making that short roll play. He can catch, turn and face in the short roll, and make a play out of it. Right here, he finds Jaylen Brown in the corner, and as you just saw, this ended up being a 3 ball. And then, I mean, look how deep these 3s are. Vucevic didn't even go out there, but look at where he's shooting. He's shooting this from the logo. That's beyond Steph Curry range. That's like Wembanyama range. Kristaps Porzingis, there's too many 7-footers pulling up from way downtown in the modern NBA. Over his last 5 games, he's averaging 21.4 points per game, 7 rebounds on 54% shooting from the field and 52% from 3. Another guy that's been playing better as of late has been Derrick White. And Derrick White was a guy that went on a huge slump in the middle of December through January. On the year, he's averaging 16.1 points a game, about 4 boards and 4 assists, about a block and a steal per game as well. And he's just, the Swiss Army knife, the guy that can do everything for this Celtics team. On the year, shoots 37% from 3 on 8.5 attempts. But over his last 5 games played, he is getting back to normal Derrick White, about 17 points a night, 44% shooting from the field, 39% from 3. And I was calling him the modern day Klay Thompson from those Warriors teams back in the day, and then he started shooting terrible, so we won't call him that anymore. But as for Jaylen Brown, he's another guy that just hasn't had as good of a season this year as he did last year. 23.4 points, 6 boards, 3.4 assists in 33 minutes a game. But efficiency-wise, he's just not been good. 46% from the field is pretty solid. That's really good. 32% from 3, though, is really bad, especially on 6 attempts per game. And we're shooting 32% from 3. We still haven't been able to figure that out beyond the 3-point arc. That's an issue, in my opinion, and it needs to be fixed, but it's not looking like it's getting fixed. Now, as for Jayson Tatum, he's another guy that's been struggling as of late. 26.7 points a game, 9 rebounds, 5.5 assists on the year. He's doing that while shooting 45% from the field and 35% from 3 on 10.1 attempts. This is a guy that shot 38% from 3 last year. Maybe there needs to be an adjustment made. He's still a great point forward, averaging like 6 assists a game over the last 8, but he's only averaging 21.4 points and 7 boards on 39% shooting from the field and 30% from 3. He's taking 9.1 3-point attempts versus 9.3 2-point attempts over those last 8 games. May I remind you, you are 6'9", 215 pounds. Get downhill, get to the rim. But no, 3 things in life that are certain: death, taxes, and Tatum taking the pull-up 3 over a big in the switch on the pick and roll. Now, taking a look at what the Celtics are going to do at the trade deadline, I don't know how active they will be. Their only real bargaining piece is 22-year-old Jaden Springer, who has been all right, but never really developed into what the Celtics thought they could develop him into. Now, he is still 22, which is why some teams could want him, and he's on a $4 million contract. But with the Celtics being in the luxury tax so bad, that $4 million is actually $16 million that they've got to pay in the luxury tax. They're currently $7 million over the second apron, so it doesn't look like they're going to get under the second apron. But if you do ship off Jaden Springer, it's one step closer to getting off of some of these restrictions right here. But I don't know. I don't know if there's a team that really wants to make a serious offer for Springer. Like I said, he's averaging like 1.8 points a game in 5 minutes, so he's not an actual rotation player. But maybe a team sees something in him that I don't. We will see, though. Now, taking a look at the buyout market, this is another market that the Celtics really can't be too involved in due to being in the second apron. Once again, they can only sign players who are making under their $12.4 million mid-level exception prior to being bought out, and there's not a lot of guys under that apron that are even worth making a move for. So I suggest bringing back Lonnie Walker, a guy that you brought in the offseason, played on an Exhibit 10 deal in the preseason, averaged like 7.3 points a game in 4 preseason games with Brooklyn. His last NBA stint, he averaged 9.7 points a game, 2.2 rebounds, 1.3 assists in 17 minutes a night, and he did that on 42% shooting from the field and 38% from 3 on 4.7 attempts. He's been playing overseas and putting up decent numbers, and like I said, he looked good. He looked like a good piece to this Celtics team while he was here in the offseason and in preseason, but then, they didn't keep him around. Now, as for Baylor Shireman, I thought he was going to be a guy that could come in and contribute to the main roster from day one. That's actually my most viewed video, was reacting to the Celtics taking Baylor Shireman, but so far in the G League this year, he's averaging 18.2 points, about 6.5 boards in like 33 minutes a game, while shooting 42% from the field and 33% from 3. I really thought, a 5-year guy in college, I thought he was going to be able to come in and contribute from day one with that lefty jumper, but so far he really hasn't at the NBA level. He shot 39% from 3 at Creighton, and his senior year, he made 112 three-pointers, which would have been on pace for like close to 200 over an NBA season. But just looking at what he's been able to do in the G League so far, it's not really looking like he warrants a call-up to the main roster. So that really brings the question, what can the Celtics do to improve at the deadline, both the trade deadline and the buyout deadline? It really looks like there's not much. You got to stick with this roster that you've got, but let's not act like sticking with this roster that you got is such a bad thing. This is the team that was overwhelmingly the favorites to win the NBA championship once again coming into the season, and the team that probably will win the NBA championship once again. They're kind of coasting right now, and another thing, every time they walk into an arena, they got a big bullseye on their back. They're at the top. They get everybody's best shot, and so they got to be on their A game every night, and that is exhausting over an 82-game season. But once April comes around, once the playoffs come around, they're going to get locked in. They will be just fine, especially if Porzingis stays healthy. I mean, remember last year they won the NBA championship. They lost 3 games, 16-3 over the course of the playoffs, and Porzingis didn't even really play. And that's the craziest part there, is because Pingus is arguably their most impactful player, whether it's offensively, defensively, everything he does, he has such a big impact for them. And so, yeah, I think, but the Celtics team, they are heating up. They've won 5 of their last 7. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. We're looking for about 300 likes on today's video. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching.